It should be there. For the music. There we go. Okay, so welcome back everyone. It's been 2 weeks. I was sick last week, and on Thursday I even lost my voice. So hopefully everything's gonna go well today. And when last we left off, we were in the retopology stage of the Hyena Bard. And this is about as far as we got. So we have the decimated model here. Give it this one, and polysurface 1 is what we had. Give me a second to remember or recall what we did. So we worked on the neck, we got the shoulder cuts, we have the upper arm wrist, the upper armbands and the lower armbands. And I vaguely remember but I also wanted to make sure that the hands are mirrored. And I'm not quite sure if it's saved that version. So whenever I have something like that, I go into the side view. If it's not in... Over here we can see that all the lines are, or at least the symmetrical lines are perfectly overlapping. You don't see something like this where for example, if it was slightly off center, you would have this, like, you would see the edges not line up. So that's when you know your model is, you broke symmetry. If it looks like this, all of the edges are perfectly overlapping, you're in business, you have a symmetrical model. Give me 1 second, I need to enable one thing. Okay, cool, that's enabled. Cool, alright. So we've done a bit of work, and I actually would like to check a few things. So for that, check a few things as in I'd like to do a little test bake on the geometry to see if what we have is giving some good results. This isn't quite a necessary step, but it's something that I do from time to time in order to make sure that I'm going in the right direction, or if maybe I need more geometry for the normal map and the other maps to hold up the quality. So I'm gonna do that. For that we will be using Marmoset Toolbag 5. For the longest time I've done things in Toolbag 4, but as of the start of 26 I got my license updated, so now I should be able to do everything in Substance 5. So we'll rename this one real quick, so body work in progress low. It is a good habit to always have suffixes of underscore low or underscore high, just so that you at a glance know, okay, this is supposed to be for the low poly and these are the elements of the high poly, because when you start baking things or you have a lot of elements in your scene, if you don't keep track of your naming conventions, things are gonna get very messy, and I'm speaking from experience here. So we're gonna need some UVs, because currently it looks like this. This is just all automatic generated because we did retopology. And if I were to do just a regular planar map, you can see it is a frontal projection of our character. We have a couple of holes in it. For example, on the pants, so that's why you see these. That's why you see these holes in it. But that's fine. Like, the only thing that we need at the moment is some automated UV maps, just so we can hold pixel information. These are far from final, as you can see. Let me make this a bit more visible. Hopefully it shows up on stream. You can see how some of these edges, like you can see where the cuts are. If I were to go to the UV shell, so this is a shell, this is one, here's one, and we have a lot of seams over our model. For the test bakes, this is fine. I just want to see if, for example, here on the rib cage where we have this quite a harsh silhouettes cut, like, does this work? So things like that is what I'm mostly interested in. So we have some automatic UVs. Again, OBS does not pick up the submenus on streaming. I tried to find some methods of maybe capturing full screen, but I did not find some proper settings that would make me feel comfortable doing it in case I accidentally showcase a file I'm not allowed to. So I'll just talk through it. I'm going to just export it as an OBJ file. I'm only interested in the geometry. I'm gonna name it body underscore whip underscore low, and I'm going to turn off materials. Because if we were to look at it, these markers that we had, these are all separate materials. And if we were to export this, Marmoset will take all of those as well, and that is not what we need at this step. So we'll just tell it, don't bring any materials, it will just have the default Lambert one. Alright. Now if everything goes correctly and it hits, hit this button. Ta-da! Marmoset toolbag number 5. This is the default startup. On our left we have our outliner, on the right we have our materials, and down here at the bottom we have some context sensitive menus. So if in here, top left again, make a new scene, and over here we have a little cube. This is also a model. This is also a button for import model. If we hit it, you can see the submenu, but you get a pop-up. A little housekeeping. On your own computer, if you're working on your own files, have a proper folder structure. So I'm using Maya's default folder structure, and in assets, I made another map called baking, and inside of that I put that's where I put all of my models for baking. Because again, depending on how many steps you take to test bakes or do a final bake, or like maybe have multiple characters going on, you will want to have a very firm grasp on how much just scene organization, because this will bite you in the ass if you disregard that at the beginning of a project. Okay, so here we have a model. Again, it just has a default Lambert on it. And what we are going to need now is also bring in a high poly model from which we can bake the information that we desire. So again, import. Because this is a test bake, I will be using the decimated model that we made last time. Again, assets, decimated objects, and I'll choose the body merge decimated. So this is the model that we have in Maya as well. It is, hang on, where's the wireframe? Bring that to a more visible blue. Does that show up on stream? It does. So this is our decimated model. And again, for the purpose of test bakes, this is going to give us the information we need. All the way at the end of the retopology, when we have proper UVs and we want to go for the final bake, that's when we'll bring in proper high poly decimated models for each piece, and we will get our clean bakes. But for the testing purposes, this is fine. And again, not every artist does this step. Sometimes your project is simple enough where it's not required, where you can just do the entire retopo in one go and then do test bakes. Or if you're very confident in your own skills, you can just do it in one swoop. Especially if I give myself the time, I would love to do a couple of test bakes in between, just to prevent having a lot of issues at the end of, oh, I didn't think of this, or this didn't go well. HTMC, welcome on in. Right, so a lot of technical talking, because again, this is the technical part of making a character. We have our high poly, we want our low poly. So we want this information, we want this information being baked onto this low poly. Make it a bit darker. Let's set this to 1. Oh yeah, that makes it a lot. That makes it a lot more visible. Scale reference. One thing that you can never underestimate. Baking is scene scale sensitive. So if you're working on a character that is like only a few centimeters big, odds are your maps aren't going to come out clean. Same for the opposite. If you're working on a character that's like a kilometer in size, probably also not the best. From personal experience, if your character is about like 180 to 160 or like between 5 and 6 feet, you're going to get some good results, because that's like an average, where a lot of these programs are like intended to have their raycasting program on. Okay, so on the left we have a little bread loaf icon. I love this. This is the bake. This is the baking button. We bake bread. We'll rename this into what? Minor spelling mistake. Body bakes. So, and again, a lot of talking. There's a wild amount of programs out there that you can bake your normal maps and your ambient occlusion maps and a bunch of other utility maps in. For example, Substance Painter has it. You can either do it inside Maya, you can do it inside Blender, you can do it inside ZBrush. What I like a lot about Marmoset Toolbag is it's very artist friendly. It's very like explain it like I'm 5. Very much it's been simplified a lot so that artists can understand it. So we have a baking group, or rather we have a bake whatchamacallit. Like, so this is the entire project, and in here we have a group. Now what this means is everything that's inside of this group is going to look at the high and the low, and that information is going to be baked in that group. So if we call this the body group, and we place our high poly body in here and our low poly body in here, when we're going to bake, everything that's in the body group is going to look at the high that's in here. Like, it's going to look at this information, and it's going to bake all of that information into the low. Now, if you've never done baking before, you might think, oh, why is this a thing? This looks tedious. Um, if you have a character that has a lot of accessories, for example, what would be like? Okay, this character has earrings. Let me see if I can really quickly grab the earrings from the high poly. Meantime, let me take a sip of water, as my voice is already getting raw. I did not expect to do this much talking at the beginning. Okay, let's see. Ear piercings. Let's see. Okay. Let me quickly throw everyone over to Maya. We'll import. So we have our ear piercings. Let me quickly give them some soft edges and give them some automated UVs. Create. All right. Again, I don't care that these are like completely unoptimized. I just need pixel information at the moment. Oh, now let me quick rename. So ear piercings demo. And we'll again name them low. Export. We go to our baking map and we go earrings. Oh no, here. Demo low. Okay. Back to Marmoset. Again, we'll import so we have our ear piercings here, and we also have some high. Yeah. Okay. Again, if anyone has any questions about this, let me know. So here we have our ear piercing demo. So we have the low and the high. We quickly. Sure that the naming is consistent. Am I going crazy? No. Okay. So now you might think, why do you need groups? So, for example, these piercings are gonna have normal information of their own, but they're piercing the ear of the character. So if we didn't have cages and everything was in the same area, if I do a quick bake, let's choose an output again. Make sure you have a dedicated folder. In my case, I use the Maya file structure. I go to source images. I make a custom map in there called Marmoset bakes, and in here I will use PNGs, and I'll just call it let's call it base body. We don't need to, so let me extend it a little bit. So I just call it base body. We do not need to name it base body underscore normal. That suffix is going to be generated by Marmoset itself automatically, depending on which maps you choose here at the bottom. So currently we have normals checked on, so that is what we'll get. Here we have samples, we have our texture resolution. For baking, this is going to be like I'm fine with a 2K just to like see how it goes. Now we're just gonna hit bake and we're gonna see what happens. So start. Down here we see a little loading bar. Okay, it's baking maps. Now we're gonna see what happened. We'll make a new material, call it body mat. And we'll assign it. Okay. Did you see how it baked again while I didn't ask for it? It's because we have interactive turned on. I'm gonna turn that off. It is a nice feature to have, but not for this step. Basically, it's like an automatic updater. For now, we don't need that. So here, let's... Okay, so we have some issues. I know exactly why that is. It's because we have overlapping UVs. Let me fix that real quick. So if we look over here, we have our two models, and we can see we have overlapping UVs. We don't want that. We'll just lay out. And again, we'll export them. The nice thing is, Marmoset automatically updates. So it looks mangled, but if we hit rebake again, start. We're back. Oh, let me be fair and actually put the ear piercing in the high as well. We're gonna bake. Alright, cool. So the body itself looks pretty neat. I prefer to have like a little bit of a glossier material, so let me set this to something like 85. Just so it's not like Snow White. And I'll give it a very minor secondary specular. Just so we can see it a little bit better. Alright. Back on the topic of baking groups. Why would you want them? Everything is in the same group right now. And those with keen eyes can see that the earrings also got projected on the ear itself, which is incorrect. We don't want this. We want information of the earrings to only be projected on the earrings itself. Because for example, if we hide them now, you can see this type of information that is projected on the base body, which is wrong. This is not what we want. If I did not have control over baking groups, maybe I would have to, like, as a solution, maybe I could, if I hit W. Let's see, where's the gizmo? Let's see, center pivot. So what you used to do is you would move it away. You would have this exploded view. You would make sure that nothing would intersect on a geometry level, and you would make sure that all of your elements that you did not want to have affecting other models, you would line them up. You would have them not touch each other. Now, the other thing about that is these days we also want to have stuff like ambient occlusion. And if you have ambient occlusion on an exploded model, that doesn't work because ambient occlusion is all about I have overlapping items and they they give shadow to each other. So what Marmoset did is they give you baking groups. If I move this back and I make another group in here. So if I hit, where's the button? Because they changed it. Add bake group, and we'll call this one earring. Or rather ear piercing. We'll move these here in their own separate baking group. So we have an ear piercing and a body group, and if I hit bake now, it's gone. Because they're in separate groups. whatever is in the ear piercing group does not project information to the body group. This is one of the biggest strengths of marmoset baking. This is saving me so many headaches, and like, I love it. There are some other software packages out there that do it based on naming conventions, but making one accidental mistype and your entire thing doesn't work anymore. Marmoset toolbag having a visual folder structure of like, okay, everything in the ear piercing, everything in the body group, or however you want to set it up. Congratulations, you just took away so many headaches. Because... oh, I skipped this explanation. For those who don't know, how do I call this? Baking information from a high poly to a low poly is nothing more than raycasting. So what you do, again, Marmoset has a beautiful visualization for that. So you shoot a ray from your low poly and you want it to hit your high poly. So from surface outwards, you shoot outwards. If it hits anything, that is going to get saved as pixel information. Be it distance, angle, like if it's occluded or not, that's a whole bunch of mathematical stuff. But you cast rays from one to another. Hey Tiki Tak, welcome on in. Welcome to this lengthy lecture of normal map baking. Let's see. So for example over here we can see fur tufts. They're not in the geometry, but we have rays shooting out and they are inside the cage. So this information is being saved. Now, oh god, we've already been going for half an hour. So everything that's inside of this cage of this model, whatever the high poly is going to get saved as pixel information. Now I believe everything is going well because we have enough space between the fingers. So for example here things are getting mangled because there's not enough information. Thing down here, yeah, so between the toes it's stupidly small, but these type of baking errors are still a thing. So this is where like the middle toe is being projected onto the side toe. That's why you have these like little aberrant pixel informations. You can find these all over the model, like same with the crotch. Like there's information being projected here that doesn't quite know what to do with. Between fingers, probably a little bit in the armpit as well. No, not on this one. Sometimes you have it on the lips, because like upper lip and lower lip are getting baked. So that's when you tell it, okay, maximum offset, we'll just reduce it a bit. And then we're gonna hit rebake. Now you can see things here got cut off. Because if we look at the cage, we have information that's outside of the cage, and that is being disregarded. Those are rays that don't hit anything, so they just get cut off. Now if you look at, so the shoulder. This entire sleeve part is not being saved, so it's just getting this weird aberrant geometry. But if we look between the fingers, so this is too much. It's also not lined up yet properly, so let me go to beans. We did do these. So with this one, we can see if we adjust the cage properly that we no longer have information being baked from one to another. But we do have information not being properly baked down here. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, this is the whole crux of normal map baking. It's whack-a-mole. It's trying to get all of your pixel information to line up perfectly. Hey Brianator, welcome on in. Welcome to the normal map or the baking lecture stream. I'm gonna tell it to estimate its offset. And then if we bake one more time. So this is where things begin to get messy of like, okay, where do things break? Where do we need more geometry? So yeah, toes look fine. Then for example the pants, because we don't have good topology for it yet, it doesn't work yet. For example here, the van braces that we did already do, this is looking good. Information such as this, I don't like it. We have one vertex sticking out. I'd like this to be a bit less. We're gonna kick it over back into Maya. And this is where we continue to retopo. So all of that for just a simple check of, okay, what is working and what is not working. Let's do the hand next. I want to make sure that the hands are working properly. Also, we have advertisements, so if anyone misses anything, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer questions, because this entire normal map baking thing is no joke. It is... There are companies out there that have dedicated people that do UVs and baking, just because it's such a... it can get real technical. Right, but for now, for this project, we'll go back to Maya. Let's turn off the clown colors, we don't really need them anymore, and let's focus on the hands. Again, we turn on symmetry. We have our body, and we can see that they're quite misaligned. But the hands themselves, because we have asymmetrical elements this close to it, I'll cut the hands off for now. Let's see, where is that button? Isolate selection. I'm missing, or I'm forgetting keyboard shortcuts because I just got out of Blender and everything everything is slightly different. So let me give me like a few seconds to get back into my shortcuts. Right, so we have these. We will extract faces. Combine these two. And slow. Yeah, so that also renamed it. Yeah, Blender. Hey Terra, welcome on in. I don't want to have it become a thing where in this channel we'll be like, oh my god, we'll bash on another project or another software package. Here's my words of wisdom. Don't have brand loyalty, use the software that is required for the project. If anyone gives you shit for it, you ignore them. I think that's about as healthy as advice you can get for that. Okay, so we'll just gently nudge it out a little bit. Make sure that we don't have things such as this, where we accidentally have vertices going from one finger to another. Oh, yeah, Blender. Hang on, I have to adjust my calendar here. Blender 15 years ago versus Blender today. World of difference. Like, Blender is absolutely a competitor. It has some really, really good quality of life things that I feel are lacking inside Maya. I've been doing rigging in Blender, and my god, is it 100 times easier over there. Okay, let's see. I'm just doing some soft select touch-ups. Gotta make sure that things don't collapse here. Hey Enzo, welcome on in. Yeah, we've been going for about half an hour, so I think that's when most people come rolling in. So, yeah, if anyone would like to have a repeat on the marmoset toolbag explanation for baking, that's recorded now, and I'm still trying to find a way to like upload everything into YouTube. Okay, so what do we want? I think for these claws. So again, personal preference. I see this a lot in VR chat, where we have people that have their claws and they're just separate objects. If for character customization, you want to have like toggles of my character has claws or not, then it's a good thing to have them separate. For this character, I want them to be solid. So I'm gonna get rid of these faces. Match them up as best as I can. Managed to finish your portfolio during the next week. Or you're about to finish your portfolio during the next week. Really excited. Nice. That's always such a great feeling. I'm happy for you. Good job. Like, finishing portfolio pieces, that's always the end of such a long race, because my god, does it take an obscene amount of time to make a portfolio piece. Or rather, yeah, you're talking about your portfolio, so that's multiple pieces. So again, congratulations. That's an achievement. Alright, yeah, definitely keep me updated on it. I'm looking at my portfolio and I'm also going, okay, I need to get some new stuff in before April, as I'm going to another, whatchamacallit, like a job convention. And it's always nice to have new pieces to showcase when you go to those type of events. So maybe we'll even have the, maybe we'll have the Bard fixed up by then. And even though I have a job now, I also use those things to just get back in touch with people that I have not seen for an entire year. So yeah, it's always a lot of fun to see everyone again. Okay. These claws are quite low, or rather they're quite decimated, but like the second you go from like a distance like this is fine. We just gotta do it 4 more times. You got 4 models in your portfolio, 2 from Maya, 2 from ZBrush. Okay, good. Gotta be your first portfolio. Yep, the first one's always scariest and also the most work. I'm going to guess that you've scoured the internet for a lot of portfolio advice, and that you're not going to fall for some of the classics. But hearing you say that you have 2 of Maya and 2 of Blender, I'd say that's a healthy amount for like a portfolio, rather than trying to shove it with like 100 pieces. Because I've also seen people do that, and that is not the way to go about it. It's always quality over quantity. And I will fight anyone who disagrees with that or says otherwise, because I've seen some bad portfolio advice go out there on the internet. Hey Marin, welcome on in. Come on, Maya. Play nice. Just want it to be. Alright, we'll just do it like this. We'll just vertex snap it. Yeah, I'm excited to see your portfolio. Okay, now I know that there's some ridges here, and we will triangulate this later on, but for now I'm gonna keep it like this. Maybe even... Actually, no, I should figure this one out before I do all of the nails. But we want to have one extra because those fingertips are quite round. Oh, and this is also definitely the step where we add more loops to the knuckles, because this is no longer sculpting topology, this is going to be animation topology. So when this character makes a fist, we want to make sure that we have enough loops on the knuckles where they don't collapse and become like vague little sausage shapes. Doing arranged topology so much you spend 6 months trying to fix your topology. And loop for model. Nice. Yeah, topology, once you understand it, or once you like make a couple of realizations, things are gonna go a whole lot smoother. Until then, good luck. Let's see. Yeah, so I like topology, but I also feel like I like it because I kind of feel like I figured it out. But at least for the things that I want, I feel confident that I can like make the topology that's required to like fit the animation needs. And also having done it a bunch of times, where like I've fallen in so many of the pitfalls that I'm no longer faced by them. I think that's the way, or I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so we'll just put little triangles there. Let's see. So yeah, once you have the feeling that you figured it out, things become a lot easier. But until then, good luck. Say I figured it out and then I'm immediately botching things. E. Yeah, even though I say I have topology figured out, there are some projects that I am part of that made me question everything again of like, wait, how does this work? And then you learn a new thing, and then it... What's that curve graph of like, oh yeah, I think I understand it, and then you learn something new and you fall all the way back down and you're like, I know nothing. Like that graph has been going up and down so much over the last few months with me now. Mount Stupid, yes, that one. Like, I know everything, and then, oh fuck, there's something else out there that I know nothing about. Or like someone shows you like, oh yeah, this is a neat way of doing like shoulder topology, and you're like, huh, man, that would have been cool to know like for the last 10 projects. So that's why it's always important to remain open about new methods. Or when someone's gracefully enough to like demo something for you, you pay attention. So hey Blue, welcome on in. Let's see. Again, these fingertips, maybe I should grab the sub D version from ZBrush, because then that's like, oh, like there's a legitimate endpoint in there. Still think if any of my models have good topology. Well, good topology is relative. Like, does it do the things that you want it to do? Like, does it look good in the final animation or like final movie? And if the answer is yes, then you have done a good job. It's it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. Like, this will work for some projects. This is the requirement for some of them. But for some others, it's like, nope, we need entirely different topology. It's like, okay. So what on earth did I do here? This? Okay, here's another thing that I learned about topology. Sometimes it's just easier to grab a previous thingy, duplicate them, and then just copy paste that. Again, it's very easy to just muck it up. And of course, you always muck it up if you're live streaming on Twitch. But that's fine. Because again, art is messy. 3D is messy. There are so many pitfalls. There are so many things that like they will go wrong. For example, mirror. Yeah, I need that thing back. It's floating back there. Fine. Middle, opposite way. Collapse, so we have a point back, and now we just have like 4 identical claws. Let's see. Bridge, and then we can collapse them. Same for these. Bridge, collapse. Good. Now we're just gonna nudge it back into place. Because again, I was meddling with the topology, and I do want all of them to have the exact same topology. Alright, gotta make sure that we don't accidentally weld any vertices together, and this is where it kind of collapsed, so we'll have to do our best to reconstruct it. What do you think about having a 3 vertex face on the model? I think it's fine if it's in the right place. Are you talking about triangles? You can say the word. It's not illegal. Yeah. Triangles are fine. If anything, I'm gonna sneak a few triangles into this model as well. God, where to begin with triangles? Again, they're fine. There are a few drawbacks of triangles because they mess with selection processes, or if you're trying to average something out. If everything is nice and quads, smoothing is gonna go a lot better because everything is like equally. English is pretty bad. Oh, you're fine. Okay, so yeah, triangles. They're fine. They mess with smoothing a little bit. Sometimes if you have sub-D modeling or like there's like Cath-Clark smooth that's gonna happen at the end due to like smooth rendering, that's when triangles can like be bad. But for example here, this is the tip of the claw. These are all triangles. I'm not gonna jump through a couple of hoops to make sure that all of these are very nice clean quads. Like no, they're not in the deformation area. They're not gonna muck up on the baking. Triangles are fine, but just be smart with them. I think the advice for a lot of juniors is that they think that having a triangle is a free pass of just like, oh, I'll just triangulate it. And that is teaching them new habits that are not that great. So I think that's where maybe the advice came from of don't use triangles, but you can absolutely use them. They're fine. Okay, I want to make sure that we have enough for like the silhouette of the finger pads. Make sure that this also remains proper. Right, because we didn't merge these, so let me just quickly select these vertices, merge. Now if we smooth them out, yeah. Okay, make sure that we have an equal amount of polygons. So let me just very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get the nail. 4, 5, 6 we get to nil, so this one's missing one. Six, 7, 7. Okay, so these both are gonna get like 1 extra. Or rather, the pinky's gonna get 2 extra. Okay. Rather, maybe it's not required on the pinky because it is slightly shorter. We also don't want to make, like, we want to be consistent. Maybe not get too dense, so. Okay. And again, gotta make sure that we are symmetrical. So we see that over here we have some errors. We'll just mirror again. Mirror positive. Let's give him. Okay, let's give him his thumb claw. And again, I'll just copy one, grow selection a few times. Duplicate faces. That's one selection too many. We're just gonna make sure that we keep our polygons lined up. I believe it's these two. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Oh. Again, I'm hitting Blender shortcuts. Ah, the muscle memory. Okay, I'm starting to doubt that I did this one right, so I'll get rid of these bridges. I don't care about the color, that's just something being automatically assigned by Maya. Doesn't impact us. I'll just look past it and we'll give it a few more extra loops. Sure that this one remains on the size of the claw. again. Just make sure we mirror one more time. This menu is showing up. So this radial menu does not show up, but whenever I do something like mirror and I get this submenu does get recorded. Why? Hang on, properties, Windows. Industry standard, by the way. Yeah, so, okay, mirror. Why? Okay. Confused. But all of these menus up top? Nope, none of these open. Alright. Again, I'll look into it some more next time. Alright, let's stitch him back up to the main body. What are you? You're an index finger, you don't... And again, keep an eye on your outliner. Because we're doing a lot of mirroring and extracting, we're creating a lot of empty nodes that we do not need. These are history things. Like, here's an empty... It's an empty transform, we don't need that. So we'll just merge them back with the body. Empty transform node goes bye-bye, and we'll rename this into body model. Okay, if we smooth preview, we do see that these things are pinching, which means that they are not merged. Just go. Again, Blender shortcuts. Alright, we'll just select the entire hand and then move vertices, and you'll see that that edge relaxes. So now we know that those are merged. Same on the opposite side. Nope, that's pinch. Merge. So also, I like this in Maya where you have the technical menu open up. So if I were to undo this, you can see, okay, we have 67 polygons or 67 vertices currently selected. If I merge vertices, that number goes down to 51. So we have both a visual feedback of these edges are merged. We no longer have overlapping vertices, which is a technical error. And we have a numerical confirmation of things, like there's fewer of them now. Alright, again, do some automated V's. Make sure that we have the ear piercings in as well, because we don't want overlapping UVs. Why are you pinging as non-manifold? What are you? Let's see, so Maya has a nice tool for that. It is in Mesh Cleanup. Man, would I love to show this window. It just tells you, hey, please check the model, see if there's like non-manifold geometry in it. This one's clean. This one is also clean. Okay, well, guess that was a false positive. Alright, we have new UVs. We export the body again. We can use the same file, and then if I go back to Marmoset and I activate it, the material is gone, so we'll have to reassign it, and we can see that the normals are scrambled again. This is fine because we made new UVs. We'll just hit bake again. I'm mostly interested in the claws now. Wait, before we do this, I have to make sure that everything has soft edges, because that is relevant. Yeah, so you saw that some of the claws soften up. We'll talk about hard edges and soft edges later on. That is, again, a niche topic. Alright, start. Bake. New maps. Clean hands. We like these. See a little bit of weirdness. No, I think that's due to UV seam. Things are working. We also don't have like any gunk happening in between the fingers. Hey Uncle Wolfie, welcome on in. Yeah, so also catch yourself when you zoom in too much into your model. Like if you know that, oh yeah, the character is going to be shown from this distance, just primarily check it from this distance. You can go in to make sure that like, okay, there's no scrambled information. But also keep in mind the distance from which your model is going to be viewed. Don't try to be perfectionist that needs to have every single thing perfectly, like... what am I trying to say? Don't let yourself get slowed down by perfectionism. Like, models can never be perfect, there will always be something, and accept that. Kind of looking at this area. We have a little bit of non-planness, so that's what I'm going to fix up next. Because again, I'm not quite sure how to do this. Like, this is a... how do you say this? This guy should eat more. Like that is one hell of a rib cage landmark. So we gotta make sure that we have our topology set up, because these faces might be going like a little bit too like they're on the cusp of, okay, we have our front facing polygons and we have our side facing polygons. These are right in the middle. And again, ooh, triangles. I could theoretically do this. Now we have an extra edge that's going to be here. I'm looking at these and I'm looking and going, okay, just banking on previous experience, I can probably make this topology a little bit cleaner for animation purposes later down the line. It's just, am I going to spend a lot of time on it? Because that's at the end of the day. Like, I'd like to have this thing be done in a, how do I call this? Reasonable amount of time. Hang on, we're currently on what, session? I lost track. Maybe session 18, 19? Roughly 3 hours a piece. Like, we're closing in on 60 hours. I don't want this project to last months. Session, yes. So I just want to make sure that... because it's also like the shirt that's peeking right underneath it, and I'll probably want an extra edge for that one too. I'm primarily looking at flow. Because again, having grid filled things, ooh, there's one heck of a... see if we... like, technically this is a quad. This is a... technically this is a quad. Technically a quad too. This is where we get very creative topology, and I don't like that. Because, like, it's... Okay, sure, we have, like, nice loops here. Like this... Ah. I'll undo a bunch. So I think I like what we had at the beginning the most. Yeah. I just want to have an... No, this is not what we started with. Yeah, so this is what we started with. This is where the streamer gets quiet and it's like having a entire internal monologue with himself, just trying to figure out what is better. Because there's, I've studied some models and they are like vigorously holding on to grids. So when you have a grid fill like this, yes, you will just terminate everything into the triangles. I've also seen models where they vigorously go like, no, quads only, and I'm trying to figure out what would be best for this character. The discussion of quads versus triangles will never end, Chad. It never ends. Just as a test, what will happen if we do this? What if we adhere to strict quads? Or at least for this one, because again, what if one more? So I also don't like how stretched these things are getting. Like these are more elongated. Like they're not. One thing that you would like to have is have them be like close to 1-to-1, so that they're squares rather than rectangular. This is maybe also where I give myself way too much rope and I will just make a mess of everything. But that's fine, because again, this is 3D art. Like I'm live streaming this so people can actually see like, oh yeah, professional 3D characters artists don't have all the answers. Like even they sometimes sit in front of like a piece of a model and go like, I got nothing. I don't know how to I don't know how to fix this one. We'll figure it out, because one thing is that we're tenacious. That is getting way too dense. Oh, kinda. Again, like having a little triangle in here, I don't think it'll like break the bank or anything, or break the skinning. Now, watch someone do a smash cut to like 10 hours from now, where this one triangle is messing up a whole lot. Because this is going to influence the amount of polygons that are going up the chest. Because yeah, this. Yeah, basically this is going to create another over here. That's fine because this one loops over here. We'll have to make sure that this one. So this is the whole. You add the polygons down here, and in return now you need to have like a loop over here, which is kind of odd, and I'm still not like too happy with this topology. Alright, we're getting some weird loops in here. Again, technically this is a quad. This is just a triangle. Like this guy's literally this. For now, I feel like we've gotten one step closer to like smooth it out a bit. That might be cool. Okay, because now we have this edge that needs to go somewhere. And I don't want it to go up here. It's like this is already getting too annoyingly dense. God, we're breaking our own rules of like lining up the poles, and I'm setting a bad example on all this. Where are we going to bust this guy to? I think here. Maya, give me the Maya. So I'm gonna look at this star, and I want this one to line up with this one. I just want to make sure that this loop remains over the top of the shirt, so this one's gonna scooch down one. And this one goes here. Good. Spoilers, that's probably gonna be a UV cut later on. Well, actually, maybe no. Alright, let's export that again. Oh wait, no. Give it new UVs. I think I demoed the ear piercing, so I'll just get rid of it for now. So I don't need to keep re-importing that one. Okay. That looks okay-ish to me. I'll probably have to do some testing off stream just to see if I can find like a solution to it, and then immediately apply that or like demo it at the next stream, rather than try and play whack-a-mole with topology for like oh wait, I need to change scene. So here we have to update it. There's still like a little bit of like silhouette issues. If I were to okay, this one might be nice to showcase. In Maya, you have a really nice tool called Edit Edge Flow. And whatever it does is Edit Edge Flow, it looks at the neighbors and is going to try and respect the flow of that one, like the normal. So here we have to like super over exaggerate it. Where was my pen tool? Here it is. Oh, can I draw? Cool. hello. Why can't I draw? Oh, my pen tool has abandoned me. Okay. So here we see topology that is like, it's going in, it's going out. If I hit this one and I hit it with the edit normal, it's going to look at its two neighboring edges and it's going to try and do its best to have this one like round out a bit. So if we do this a bunch of times, you can somewhat heal topology and make sure that it's a bit more planar rather than you will absolutely see it if you have topology that goes in and out, in and out, in and out. You'll if you play VR chat, you've probably seen it a bunch of times on people's avatars where they stuck a little bit too close to the low poly or to the high poly. And again, your low poly. So technically, we're a little whiles away from the high poly now. Like it doesn't add up 100% anymore. That's fine. Sometimes it's okay to break the low poly a little bit, just so you have like a little bit of a smoother silhouette. Let me export real quick. Kick it over the marmoset. There. Did you see it pop? Now if I do a rebake. Now we have like a slightly smoother silhouette. Even though technically we went away from the high poly a little bit. Because the normal map is still carrying it pretty hard. Now we have a low poly that's also like nice and round and doesn't have any collapsing faces. Be careful with that, but sometimes you can do those type of things just to have a cleaner low poly. Oh. Change scene again. Yeah, so I've seen models where just over exaggerated, where we have things like this, where you look at the silhouette and you have edges that go inward, outward, inward, outward, inward, and it's like an accordion. Now, unless you are actually going for an accordion character, try to have your low poly to be like, don't do that. Hey Jano, welcome on in. Built like an accordion. Yes. Alright, let's see. What is something that we can tackle next? Are we going to tackle the pants of this character? I think we are. There's a sentence. Okay, so the butt is symmetrical, that's great. We are going to model in those pants, pockets at the end. Okay, this is where we're gonna do the scary part and like we're gonna cut those curves in. Like this is where we break symmetry, this is where we do an incremental save. And we'll just make a new version and call it body hands step. And I got called low. So we'll keep a symmetrical backup in case we break something, which we very might well. And now with the cut tool, we are going to bravely start cutting into this because we want the shapes. This is messy. This is where we're going to get engons. This is where things... I'm not that experienced on this one. Usually I work on very symmetrical characters and also like don't have huge creased folds in it. But we've seen this type of stuff be done on Fortnite, and if Fortnite can do it, then I can do it. I'll put that on a t-shirt. Okay, because again, I have my base topology. I'll increase it a little bit because odds are we're going to need it. And also this is where welcome back, Marin. How much did you miss? A lot. Once you start cutting into your model like this, there's no going back. So let me actually make sure that I have enough loops. And we'll do like a little symmetrical smooth as I continue to hit Blender shortcuts. Okay. So I want to make sure that I have at least enough like what do you call this? Horizontal loops that go across the hips. For now, and I'll add one here. Just so that our base topology, our base animation loops are there. Because the second you start adding triangles to it and then want to like see if you can add a loop or two, odds are the answer is going to be absolutely no. It's okay as long as you still have your sanity doing retopo. If anything, this retopology is healing my sanity. It's not rigging. Because, my god, have I been trying to get something to work for the last few days, and I am not a proficient rigger. So much stuff is breaking on a different file that I'm working on. But I'll punch through. Okay, so what do we want? Rather, what do we have? Because some of these loops can be somewhat used to like give the silhouette, such as this fold up here. Like I'll see if I can follow flow a little bit by just following and make sure I don't accidentally touch that. See if I can like find some folds in it already. And see which ones are going to be normal maps only. So this is the scary part. Okay, so I'm only adding a few, and now I'm looking at this large fold here that's like a definite silhouette, because again, these are huge non-planar polygons this won't. It's been a while since I've heard slow and reverb home resonance. If that's this song, you're welcome. And this is a playlist that I got off YouTube, and I hope it's not too copyrighted. Okay, let's see. What do I want? So if I make a cut like this, I get some pretty significant hang-ons. I find it better practice to do things like this. So you have triangles that you work with, and then you just gently nudge it back in place. Hey Nadesky, welcome on in. Welcome to the Retopo Horror Show. Okay, and then here we have this. Yeah, that's the zipper. Looking at silhouette, it does go on. So will we. See if I can match it. Also, we have a huge, we have a triangle on the center line now. It's fine. I'm fine. Let me gently retrace these steps. Let's see what is working, what is not. Okay, and then we'll also need some triangles up here. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water there. Okay. So, even though we added a bunch of triangles, if we look at our flow, it still has these horizontal loops that will make like rigging and skinning not nightmarish. I'll phrase it like that. So these, oh, let me make sure that these are actually fused. We'll do another test bake in like a few seconds, just to see how much is gonna get carried by the normal. Don't fuse that. And how much of it is going to be done by geometry. Because again, here is what I'm most worried about. Like this shape, alright, we caught it. This is looking doable. This one, this huge fold that goes like down the leg, that one still needs some work. So yeah, we'll just keep going. As long as we don't generate any huge pulls, we should be good. Or engons for that matter, because this is a huge engon. Shit. So move this one up. Oh, and because we did yeah, symmetry, so this one needs to get squeezed in. Again, if we look at the right side, as long as they're roughly equal, I'm trying to be as nice as I can to the future rigor of this project, so we don't want to have like an obscene amount of density in like one leg and like not in the other. So I'm trying to be meticulous and I'm trying to keep them lined up as best as I can. Though at some point I will have to concede and just make a couple of adjustments that are in one leg but not the other. Okay, this one's quite regulated. Okay, because if we look at it now without the high poly, like it's there. Definitely have a few issues. But for the majority it's there. So let's do a test pick. Let's see what it looks like with a normal map on it. I'm going to give it some hard vertices. So set vertices to face. Now we're gonna give everything soft faces. Alright. Since we didn't add anything, I'll just give it like a quick unfold, quick layout, export selection, do the body again, go to marmoset, re-upload, give it a body, completely scrungled normals, which is fine, and we rebake. I'm impressed. Like, it's holding up. We have our silhouette. If we look at the highlights, we don't see anything spasming. We still have a few issues here in the crotch. So for example, if we look at the wireframe here. On this leg, well, we haven't processed it yet. Technically, everything is being caught in the normal map. But as you look at the highlight, you can see that it's wobbly. That normal map is having issues, especially from like glancing angles such as this. This is where you see it collapse suddenly. This is where your low poly and your high poly don't add up enough, and you should I always have to be very careful whenever I start a sentence with "you should." How do I phrase this? Areas such as this should be done better. If you have a character and your normal maps are like this, where they're like wobbly, especially if you go like this is unacceptable. If you have like a glancing area like this, like this is literally the accordion going on right now. You need more polygons in this area. But for the objects, for the areas where we have made all of these cuts, so this silhouette is holding a lot better. Yes, there's an accordion, but it's consistent with the folds. The normal map is working alongside with it, and we are getting good results. As opposed to this leg. Now over here, because this is one of these like pretty beefy silhouette folds, I think I want to add another edge so it feels a little rounder. Because this is just one vertex holding on for dear life, and then the second we get to this angle, we can see, oh, that's just a singular edge, and it kind of loses that feel of this is bunched up cloth, and cloth does not, like, unless you iron it, you don't have that. So again, we did our test bake, we got information, we know that this area is working, we know that these folds need more, and I would like to add another edge here. That's my line of thinking, that's why I do baking like in between. So let's no, there you are. Live. Let's see, where shall we grab edge from? Because this fold goes over the back quite a bit. Okay, I'll just have it merge here. Actually, let's do two edges. Let's be royal. Now what I don't want to do is go here, because then we have like quite a I don't know if this is a psychological thing, but I don't like that we have now like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges all coming into one place. So, but maybe it'll have to. If we go like this. Actually, we'll come back to like how we terminate these two, because they're like very close to the back pockets. I'll probably want to adjust this a bit. So this is temporary, so let's just look at the front. Okay, now you might be so I've fallen into this trap as well. You're like, oh hey, this face is like this is a quad, we can just do this. The second you do this, you create a spiral. This little bugger is a trap. Do not delete this thing. Now we have loops. The second you get rid of that, you got a spiral. Like if we look at these edges. These are originals, these are... Don't trust it. Don't believe it's lies. This thing stays. So we have a few extra edges over there. Everything else fits. Alright. Back here, because again, this topology, it requires more. So we're just gonna follow the creases.
Small businesses, telephone communication is still a kind of groping in the dark.
Hello? Who's this?
But now you can overcome all that with the Merlin system from AT&T. It's incredibly easy to use. So if your business isn't running as smoothly as you'd like, say hello to the Merlin system and put an end to AT&T, the right choice.
Just smoothing them out because I know I'm gonna carve in here. If I don't do that now, I will be paying for it later in terms of we added triangles. Inserting loops is now a whole lot more difficult. So again, triangles are fine, but they do close doors from time to time. So I'm gonna make sure I have what I want. In terms of quads before that, so I'll like add a few extra. Yeah, that's probably one too many. Because I want my quads, or rather I want them to be square rather than rectangular. Let's say that you have a pair of pants and they have so many folds in them that it's like an entire crisscross of like triangles, where working with it becomes quite obnoxious. There are ways to make proxy meshes, and then transfer the weights from there. That is also like a little rigging trick that I learned over the last few days. Rigging has so many tricks in it that helps with understanding topology. I think this is also why people keep advising to rig your own models, because man, will you learn all of the things that you could have done better. The second you start rigging models, you're like, oh, I see now why people did this in this specific way. So they don't go crazy during retopo. Let's see. Oh, shoot this one here, and we'll pop these back.
So if your business isn't running as smoothly as you'd like, say hello to the Merlin system. Now you can overcome all that with the Merlin system from AT&T. It's incredibly easy to use.
Okay, I think out of the entire playlist, I think I like this song the most. Terminate this one here. know that there's a small angon over there now, but we'll fix that in a bit. Just gonna want to make sure I have the silhouette first. Also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, later on, after we're done with this step of like adding this many triangles, I'll go over it with a cleanup tool. Maya has specific tools that will pop out either angons or at least notify you of them. That like, hey, your model is dirty. Like, don't do that. Also, we should save. Kind of concerned that this loop. Probably want to move this one forward a little bit. I have a tendency to not put enough topology in the crotch, and then like things begin to collapse. Come on. Okay. Let's see, save. Sorry, what? If you put too much topology on the crotch, it collapses. No, I don't put enough in it. So, if we look at the inside of the crotch, like, I have two faces that are gonna be holding down the shape whenever this character is gonna be walking. Like, I probably would have benefited it, or well, it would probably be better if I were to add like one more in it. I don't know. Because that's gonna, well, actually. It'll mess with some things. I think this is fine. I did not believe my own words. We'll come back to the crotch later. For now, let me just do quick. Let's see, cleanup tool, and I'll just tell it, hey, show me faces with more than 4 sides, and it'll select the faces that have more, and okay, it's only 1. That's impressive. So this one. Yeah, we could theoretically just do this. Like, that did not disturb the slow. Yeah, I think we'll just collapse this one. Okay. Again, automatic UV. layout. Mesh has non. Okay, you're telling me there's non-manifold geometry in here. Maya, show me. Cleanup tool, show me where the non-manifold geometry is. It's the vertex we... Okay. So this is when Maya thinks that there is a... This is where Maya thinks that, hey, there is a face in here that is not, like, possible. This probably has to do with that we merged a couple, or like the cut tool made it think there's a technical error with it, so we can literally just say, alright, clean up. Okay, so are you gonna be mad at me now that there's non-manifold geometry in here? Yep, it's still nagging. Okay, fix. Okay, back to marmoset. So keep your eye on the silhouette as it gets re-imported. We'll just say rebake. Okay, something went wrong. There's stuff going on up here. So this is where we can either check the cage. Huh. Are these unwelded vertices? That shouldn't be. Yeah, so this is where a ray is not firing far enough from the cage. So that's why we have this issue here. Yeah, you can see the cage getting broken. So seeing these holes in here makes me think I have some unwelded vertices in here, because this cage should be solid. Huh. Going back to Maya. Hey Maya, give me a smooth preview. What's going on? Okay, so you see one vertex that is like completely smacked up. We'll just relax it a little bit. Average, bring it down. Also, the edit tool tends to get a bit wonky if you have a lot of triangles, because again, it's looking at surface continuation and then it slams its head into a triangle. Oh, these are probably UV cuts. That's why the cage is looking wonky. Okay. Yeah, we got rid of that. We have our folds here. This silhouette bump is looking a whole lot nicer. So if anything, this is working out pretty darn well. Okay. So, oh wait, why is it looking good? Because we're looking at the high poly classic. I was like, this is looking too nice. Nope, still have issues. Great. Why? Big. There we go. Okay. Silhouettes looking better. Because again, I'm looking at her from this distance, so you see 1, 2, 3. We look from this distance, it looks nice and round. Alright, what do I want to do next on the pants? Because we have these butt pockets, or back pockets, I don't know what you officially call them. I've had this in a previous project where I had feedback from some folks where Yes, the normal map is catching it, but you're lacking depth. Like if we look at this, like you can get a slightly sharper edge by just modeling them in. So that's what I'm gonna do. And also at glancing angles, like the normal map isn't entirely holding on. So I'll just model in these back pockets. Which should be done symmetrically, because we kept that part purposely symmetrical. That was a big yawn. Okay, let's see. Dang it, this one's not on the center. If I had planned a little bit better, I would have had like a nice edge that like sits at the center of this. No, we're not going to do that. We'll keep it as is and we'll just add a triangle down at the bottom. And then maybe we'll terminate this one just... Get rid of symmetry, and we'll terminate this one once earlier so that we don't have this touching the back pocket. Oh, gotta make sure we have our symmetry. You're sorry, but Zaz is reminding you of the end slice of bread of a loaf at the grocery store. Yeah, people see what they want to see, I guess. Like I've been sculpting too many things where a lot of innuendos just immediately fly over my head, and then someone goes like, "Oh, Kenyon, I didn't know you like, I don't know, sculpted this obscene thing," and I look at it and go like, "Huh." Okay. But yeah, sometimes 3D looks very funny. Okay. And we'll just turn live surface off for a bit, extrude it, and then I'll just move it back a little. Just simple extrusion. Just so we have the topology. Oh, I missed the face. Keeps it interesting. Yep. Okay. We'll just make sure that we have these in. And again, I'm modeling him in because I think it'll add something nice to the silhouette, like it'll catch the highlight a little bit better. Not every character needs this. Look at characters such as Overwatch. A lot of their models, I think, like nuts, bolts, pants pockets, or pants pockets. Wow. Wait, is that what we're about? The pockets. They're all just texture information. Because again, it all depends on how much, like, if you have a polygon budget, then that is probably going to dictate how much you can actually use of like modeling in details versus what has to be, what has to just be put in the normal map so the information is there. Okay, and then we'll just put some triangles in here. I think this will be fine. Again, if the rigger later on is gonna try and like be like, "Hi, I need you to change a couple of things," I'll gladly do that. So it appears that we broke symmetry over here. Great. We'll do some surgery on that later on. Because we have such an asymmetrical element. Hey, Lianos, welcome on in. Because we have such... Oh. That's not supposed to be there. Let me just quickly merge this back up. So that was an accidental face select as I was extruding the pockets. Let me just merge that one back in. So someone's giving me notifications. See. Yeah, that can wait. Now we can no longer just mirror, because that's gonna mirror the entire front of it. Like we're gonna have to detach the faces, mirror it, and then patch it back up again. I'm just looking at the density right now and thinking maybe I have a little bit too much, but I think it's better to have a bit too much than like too few. Sorry, internal monologue of like, maybe we should change X, Y, Z. Alright. So let's fix the butt. Go selection a couple of times. Okay. Nope. So, okay, you see how the gizmo is slightly in front of the mesh? This indicates that I have something selected in front, which is this. Yeah, I made some accidental selections. Alright, and then you see it pop back. Now it's in the center again. Now I know I've only selected the faces of the bot. Okay, we go to extract. Again, not a lot of things face me anymore. This. Now watch this become the thumbnail video. This one, mirror, negative. Now we can just patch it back up again, combine. We do have to merge the vertices, so again we'll select them. We'll just merge vertices. Majority of it should go back to smooth scaling. Or yeah, so this thing is betraying that there's something going on. Like why is this one floating up? It's because this one's most likely not being merged. So if we select it, up here, yeah, we can see that these are multiple vertices. They should be two because we're back in symmetry mode. Okay, and here we have the biggest offenders. One here. Alright. I think that's all of them. And now we have a symmetrical butt again. Cool. Edge, soften edge. Yeah, we have a huge spike over here, so we're gonna have to redo the UVs. Goodbye, beautiful UVs that we generate in seconds. Okay, re-export. Back to Marmoset. Again. Alright. Okay, so it's in the high poly. Because again, this is decimated, so we have a few artifacts. I'm mainly looking at like this triangle that's going here. So I'm checking it and it's in the high poly. It's not the low poly. Okay. Gotta make sure that this. Do we want to model in the? I think okay. Let's add a few polygons for the zipper patch because that thing is like it's breaking apart a little bit. Yeah, we'll just add an extra edge or two. Get rid of symmetry because that thing ain't symmetrical. At least, is it? Right, gotta log into work. Gonna lurk. Keep it great. Work. Oh, thank you. May not know a whole lot about retopology, but both work and effort when I see yours is showing wonderfully. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Marin. And yeah, good luck at the job and enjoy the lurk. I will see you next time. And thank you for the kind words. Let's see. Cut tool. Again, I don't know if this is absolutely necessary, but I just want to test it real quick. Maybe this detail is gonna be too small. But one way to find out. Oh no. I think my downstairs neighbors can do some drilling. Why? I thought they had fully settled in. Like no more assembling furniture or drilling holes in the wall for paintings. Alright, might have been a false alarm. These I just need to go up one more. What's going on here? Okay, so whenever you have a polygon like this one's like a little bit too funky. So I'll just retopologize or triangulate myself. Lets me. Oh. Don't need a cylinder. Just wanna triangulate this one. Okay, so we modeled it in. Let's see what this is gonna give us. Soften edges. Does make it a little bit more readable. It helps the normal map ever so slightly. Alright, we'll keep it in. Okay, now I've been looking at these belts, and again, the torso itself are just simple loops. I think I want to model them in slightly, or as in give them a silhouette. Give them a silhouette cut. Again, we have our horizontal loops. Those are good. So let me see if I can add those, because again, silhouette is everything. Like that's what's gonna make it look like, oh yeah, this is it. It's that little bit of extra magic. Okay, first up, add another cut there. I'll probably have one extra loop here. Smooth out a bit. Yeah, especially for things such as here on the back. Like, we'll definitely want to have an extra edge here. That is... They're going to show off, like this is the border of the belt. It's not just gonna get carried by a normal map. Also, I should not be doing this too much because I am digging into my budget by just having all of these lovely little extrusions. And we still need to do the hair as well. Like some accessories, the guitar is also going to be there. Though, do I want to call the guitar part of the character or is that a prop? Like, I don't want to blow up my I don't want to blow up my polycounts too much. So as much fun as I'm having, like modeling in all of these edges, odds are might be going in a bit too much. But we'll see. Oh, yep, upstairs neighbors vacuum cleaning. All right, that's fine. It's like, you gotta keep your house clean. So that means from time to time you vacuum clean. Okay, get rid of our symmetry. put our cuts here. Hey Unud, welcome on in. So just out of curiosity, how many of you are in here? Right, we have an average viewer count. Because again, this is... There are... How do I say this? On the art category of Twitch, there are probably a few things that are far more interesting to watch than someone doing retopology very slowly and meticulously. So I'm pleasantly surprised that there's a bunch of you sitting here. That makes me happy. It's like, this is not the spectacular part of character art. This is the like we have to retopo this character. Someone else doing retopology right now. Solidarity is nice. Eee. And sitting staring at my art. Ooh, thank you. Anything that helps you learn what exists is appreciated. Yay. So again, yeah, if anyone has any questions about like retopology or like why I'm doing certain things, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I like to try and teach people new things. Someone's gonna get collapsed. Yeah, thank you all very much for being here. Let's see. We want to have this on the inside. Okay, let's see. Use this one. Now we have to also gotta make sure that these polygons don't stretch too much. The lower abdomen. Okay, now I gotta be careful. As okay, so here we have like a. I'm gonna have to grab something from the ZBrush file real quick. It's that little ornament that hangs there. Let's see, export. To Maya, import. And we get the entering ornament. Yeah, it's this thing. I just need to figure out how to make this into a solid piece. Or at least where it lines up enough where... Okay. We have the body, we have these belts, and we have these rings. These are three separate objects that need to work together. It's on one of the most flexible parts of the body, like the torso, because it can like bend in every directions, it can turn on its own axes. So we're gonna have to be smart about the topology for this one. I'm gonna have to do a think on this. Because we want to have enough topology where it looks like it's like separate from the body. But still like solid, so you don't have like all of these how do you say this? You still want it to be hot glue to him. That would be the normal map equivalent. The normal map would just I think theoretically if I were to go hang on. Okay, so let me export this thing again. Let's see. Export selection. I could theoretically go here, rebake it. Like, it's getting there. Now, if I were to put in the high poly the accessory, just put that in the high folder, bake it. Technically it's there, technically it's hot glue, but then the second you go off to the side, it falls apart. It's close enough that I might do what you did with the pockets and give it geometry that connects to him, not the backseat you know what you're doing. I do not consider this one backseating because like it... Yeah, this... I feel like this is indeed going to be an extrusion, but like an extrusion that also has like a little bit of an in and out. It's not just a singular extrusion. It's going to require a few more edges, but the base principle is the same. Because again, hot gluing. If I were to... Yeah, if I were to... Let's see, paint offset. Give it a little bit more offset. Okay, a lot of offset. We just... It is theoretically possible to normal map bake this thing, but we won't. Like this character needs to look high quality. Let's see. Yes. Okay, and I think this is gonna be the headache-inducing challenge that we tried to do like 15 minutes before supposed time. How are we going to do this? First off, I think I want to combine these, so this is like a new high poly. Or no, that's the wrong model. That's the low poly. I don't want to. I do not want to fuse those. This one, this one. Okay. It's gonna get messy. Let me just rip out some faces. Let's see, clear dots. And this is where Maya is having a little bit of an issue, like trying to figure out which polygons it wants to attach to, so I'm going to be a bit meticulous. And the same for this one. This one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. Part of this is going to get messy. But we'll manage. I've to be told about weirdest things, or not weirder things, more complicated things. Oh, also weirder things. Those are fun. Okay. Let me just get rid of these entirely, as they currently serve no purpose other than to like be visual noise. I should probably save a few times and also like listen to my PC starting to blow, so something's up. Okay. We'll forego the grid fill and we'll pull this here. Let me just get rid of this entirely. There's also like this belt, it detaches a little bit from the skin. Maybe we can just like have it be solid. Like I'm not a big fan of having a gap in between there. Don't think that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be more trouble than it's worth. Because way back when I had a texturing course from CGMA when it was still around. The teacher gave us a model. Oh wait, I've been on. Okay, I apologize. I forgot to swap back. This is the progress that we have. I didn't swap back from Marmoset. I'm sorry. Um, I've just been following the flow. Like it's um, yeah, that's on me. I should have caught that earlier. Train of thought. I've as practice, I've textured a character that has a chest strap that's like sitting on the top of the pecs, or like a pseudo. It's armor that sits like quite a bit on top of the chest. And that character model had like a gap between its actual chest and the armor. It was not pleasant to texture at all, and I think it would have been better if we just had it be a solid piece. Like you didn't really have a lot of room to like look in between that strap and the armor, so it was just a technical nightmare. Okay. I will look at this and make a few executive decisions. This, for example, yeah, this needs to remain the center line. So yeah, I think we can get away with it being like fused to the body. I think that's the history that's slowing it down. No, there's no history. Ooh, is this the Maya thing again, where it's for no good reason getting slower again? Probably. Okay, so from front view, and we'll just try to move these up as far as possible. Oh right, because they have fault. So this one doesn't have one. Do want to have like a little silhouette cut. Oh, it's quite far away here. This might be, yeah, this is one of those complex things of like, hi, how are we gonna do this? Because I don't know. Like this thing is, this is legitimately a first of like having this amount of complex shapes that go overlap and everything. Yeah, this one's throwing me for a loop. Just to see if this is just to see if this is even like beginning to work. So soften edges. Okay, back over the marmoset. Okay, so what we have so far is working. Yeah, and again, like the gap in between here, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of like issues with it. As a test, I'll make one ambient occlusion bake. Ambient occlusions tend to take a bit longer to bake. Let's see. Source images. Okay, that's a very harsh ambient occlusion bake. Rome would be proud. I feel like I'm missing a reference here. Why? Let's see. Why is this ambient occlusion so dark? I'm used to it being lighter. Oh wait, because I'm okay. So ambient occlusion is not breaking either. This can work. Just don't look too close at it. Chat, if nobody tells, nobody will ever find out, okay? Okay. This time let's not forget to go back to Maya's capture. Okay, and then let's get that ring in there. I feel like this can just be a whole bunch of triangles. It's gotta be very messy and very tight. God, normal web bacon is gonna be a problem. Because this is a singular object, so trying to put it in separate polygroups, that brings a caveat of it's not gonna bake ambient occlusion properly, but maybe if we do it like this. Just smack a few triangles in there. Don't tell anyone of like this horrible non what do you call this? This topology is going places. This is where you very gently make topology and just hope that it's not going to break at the end, because this is completely uncharted territory. Okay, fill hole does not work. Because over here it's still. Oh yeah, also I know it's been 3 hours. I feel like I want to get this to at least a presentable place before we head out, so yeah, we're gonna keep going for just a little bit longer. Now watch me having said that, that might have just jinxed it. Now it's gonna take like forever to get this part done. Oh, that made my computer jump for a bit. Because this polygon is completely mangled, so we're gonna have to triangulate this one. Just help Maya make sense of the chaos. Okay, also, here's one thing that I learned the hard way. You see how this vertex is going black? Because this is a vertex that's holding off for dear life. This is a vertex that needs to portray information towards the front, the back, like, and at an angle. Like, this little vertex is being pulled from all sides. This little guy needs to become a hard edge. So let me triangulate this one. Right. Because even if I were to set like, hey, set vertex to face, which should work. Set normal to face, reset. Why am I not getting hard edges? Okay. But anyway, so if everything is soft edges, this thing is screaming. This polygon is not having a good time. Like, you can see it already getting like weird normal issues. This is, from what I experienced, again, I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but this is where I turn something into a hard edge. I said hard edge. Why is it not becoming a hard edge? Okay, so this is the vertex. It's funny how my harden edge button is not doing a whole lot. Just okay, because there is okay. Theory time. A hard edge or an edge can be hard or soft. If it's soft, it just interpolates whatever information is adjacent to it, and that's what you see here for the majority of the model. Now, in theory, if I do hard edge, It should become faceted. Let me reboot Maya, because this might be like a you've been working in Maya for too long type of thing. Quickly rebooting. Because this is something that's important. Like this is something that blindsided me in a previous project, and I had like a beefy normal map issue with it. Let me do a quick test. Huh, why is it not showing me normal? Ah, cool. I think I got it. Back to, nope, up. Yep, it just needed a second to see. Okay, so these are all soft edges. Now, if I were to go to hard edges, it doesn't do a whole lot because I also gave it vertex information. So if we go to vertex mode, select all of our vertices and say, hey, set normal to face. Now you get all of this faceted, like this faceted look. Every edge is a hard edge now, which is not something that you want. Only certain edges should become hard edges. Because now if you look at this one, we can see that this vertex is not holding on for dear life. If I understand correctly, and again, if someone's smarter than me in chat about like the intricacies of hard edges and soft edges and like split vertices, please tell me. If I go to displays of the vertex normal, you can see it has multiple normals rather than just a singular one that's trying to portray all of the directions that this thing is being pulled in, of like these four faces. Now, from what I understand, this is also pretty costly because every vertex and every edge has to be drawn several times, I think. You want soft edges, but then some areas you want hard edges to be the thing. Yeah. So now, if you look at the vertex normal, you see that these rods are pointing up directly outwards, because that's the average. Wound to normal baking take care of this for you, to a certain degree, but this, looking at this edge, hang on, do I have my pen tool back? Why's my pencil not working? Oh, there we go. Because I was in isolate selected, cool. So, yes, usually your normal map will indeed like have pixel information that will make it look like it's more detailed than it is. However, this is something that is going all the way around. This singular edge needs to have information from all of these angles. And that's just too much. So if you give it a hard edge, you now have information that is looking from this angle, and it is not looking at information. Let me see. We have like this type of information being saved. Am I phrasing this right? It doesn't try to like blend it together, because this is a hard edge. This is a border. It's not trying to blend these pixels because that's too much for the null map. I can show you. So, because again, I've had this on a previous character where there was some very sharp shapes that I thought looked good or like passable. Oh wait, not you. So let's see, everything's soft edge. Like it fell apart. Let me phrase it like that. So let me automatic mapping, layout, yes. And all of it is soft edges. Like we can see that here. And we can already see like a little bit of this shadowy artifacting going on. Baking, yes, overlap. Go to marmoset, and we rebake. They might go like, oh yeah, I mean it's fine, right? Like it's holding up the shape. It's a bit scrungly because like we're working with decimated area. We go over here. Now this is gonna be impossible to find. Basically, I would not be surprised if this is it. Like we have some pixel information that is like being bended over backwards to try and meet with the demands of the normal map. Let's see. Where is it if I were to... Oh god, I was right. It is this chunk. Oh, wait. Yeah. So... it is this chunk. If we look at, like so... on the bottom, a little bit to the left. That's where it is. Look at the marmoset. Bottom, a little to the left. Oh, wait, no, it's this. God damn it. What the hell is this? Stop. Oh wait, can't I? I can just apply null map and diffuse. Pop. But you can see how that normal map has like a weird gradient to it, right? Now if I were to give this a hard edge, or to go to Maya, and again, please let me be right about this, otherwise I'm gonna look silly on the internet. We say harden edge. So now the shading is gone. Re-export. Now, okay, you all have a preview. I have not loaded in yet. If I move over, you saw it pop ever so slightly. If we rebake now, that weird gradient is gone. Because it's trying to... if I understand correctly, that gradient is in there because it's due to the soft edge, it's trying to like fade towards that extremely like other direction facing geometry on the opposite side. If you give it a hard edge, it doesn't care. You don't get that weird gradient, you don't get that weird normal issue. Now it looks a lot cleaner. Shit, I should have done... let me make it... okay. Just gonna make a second... putting in a second model. Like, how do it's when it's one of those things that I experienced and I now know to put hard edges there. But I don't know the technical this is why this is happening talk. Let me so let me put the soft edge in there, rebake. You have a weird gradient, it's falling apart. So that's because we have a huge gradient in the normal map. With a soft edge, we'll... let me quickly rename this one, so both versions. Now we're gonna put the regular in it, the hard edge. Big, okay. Soft edge, duplicate, and this one will give the old pig. Okay, so if this is the difference. Can I make this even more visible? No. Trust me, you don't want gradients like this in your normal map. Long story short, chuck a hard edge in there. Oh, wrong button. I need to hit this one. Right, time to fill this thing up. Or rather, we'll worry about this, the centerpiece at the end. Okay, reset display, so that's gone. Okay, I think this topology fits as jank. So in hindsight, I probably could have made this better in the high poly, or at least like make this belt thicker so that it'll like clip through the body, or at least be a little bit closer to it, because this is kind of asking for trouble. Again, hindsight is always 2020. But we got time. We can always fix the high poly if this baking is getting like too much of, oh yeah, this isn't working. Rich. Let's see if we can cleanly patch this up. We have this to reckon with. Also, we can just average this one out. Okay, and now we have to close up the middle. Oh, that's spiral. Don't want that. Okay, almost home. Okay, this might be the dirtiest apology that I've made in a long time. Oh, there went my voice. Okay, soften. Give these their hard edges back. Come on, so close. Alright. Choices have been made. We have a final result. I should not have used the word final. It's never final. We have a solution. So now we're gonna see how this is gonna hold up in the bake. Because again, you can make some hefty decisions. As long as it looks good in the end, it should be fine. Export selection. Waterwork compressed low. Back to marmoset. We no longer need this one. This is soft. Edge. Demo. Come on, words. Okay. Hang on, with ambient occlusion. Again, just looking close enough at it, it'll fall apart, but from a distance, this works. Hang on, let me get rid of the... Just for a second. Yeah, from a distance, this works. From the side view, okay, little bit. Okay, and then just as a test, we'll do like a 4K with lots of anti-aliasing. 32 samples. Oh, I should probably save. I don't know how resource intensive this is. Stream might stutter a little bit. As we are baking on 4K. Okay, so the one thing I'm gonna have to find out is how to get rid of it being projected on itself, because this is a singular object. I can't do, as far as I know, I can't do baking groups. I'm holding up my finger here. As far as I currently know, I can't split these as easily because again, ambient occlusion baking. So we have a little bit of this star being, or this metal ornament being projected on the skin. But other than that, like, I'd say this works. Oh yeah, you can definitely touch them up in Photoshop. The one thing that I don't like about that is if you're going through a project and later on you get feedback and it's like, hey, can we change this geometry wise? Okay, cool, sure enough. You change the geometry, you rebake your utility maps, and then if you haven't fixed that like grouping error, you will need to repaint all those maps again by hand. That is something that I very much would like to avoid. What's the... It's a balance. Do you want to have everything to be completely clean in Marmoset? And are you going to spend a lot of time to make sure that the topology is absolutely right? And you don't have any baking issues anymore? Cool. That might take you like hours. Or are you going to spend 10 minutes in Photoshop with a clone stamp brush, just nudge out the baking issues, and then go from there? Like, how much, again, it's always contextual. How much time are you giving yourself on this project? Or how much time did the boss give you on this project? What are the odds that you're going to come back to this after you've baked it already? So for now, I think this is fine. This topology holds up. I don't have a before and after, as this is the first time that we're baking, but well, this process is destructive enough where I'm not going to keep incrementals. But for today, we fixed the hands, we fixed the pants, and we got some belts done. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a success. Or let's see, 3 hours and 40 minutes. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this one. All right, let's save up. Go back to Maya. Again, make sure that we save everything. Let's make sure that our naming conventions are still proper. So I'll get rid of the earrings for now because those were just a quick demo. Okay, so I guess like a little bit of a like what we've managed to do. Get rid of this one. What happened here? That shouldn't be there. Okay, you hide, you to the left. Oh, it's a sub D backup. Okay. I was like, man, what did I accidentally touch? Okay, so I guess this is the progress of what we had last week and what we did today. So if you look at the poly count up here, we're going to be counting in triangles. This guy's already sitting at 15k triangles. With all of the folds added, we are sitting on 16k. So, oh wait, it's not an entirely true representation as this one already had some hand extrusions. But you get the gist of it. This is the progress that we've made today. Alright. Then I'm gonna find us a raid target. So hang tight. Let's see, are there any 3D streamers on? Not that I can see, or at least not in my following list. Yeah, let's go say hi to Volpin again. So we're gonna do /raid the Volpin. Alright, our raid has been created. Cool. So everyone, thank you very much for being here. These are more try technical streams. A lot of trial and error. A lot of, okay, does this work, yay or nay? And doing incremental bakes. Might not be the most enthusiastic thing to look at, the most flashy, but it is a part of game dev that also needs to be put in the spotlight from time to time. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of me outside of Twitch, I have a Blue Sky socials, which you can find over here. And if you have my emotes, this is going to be the raid message. So feel free to copy paste that, and then I will see all of you in Volpin's chat, and I'm gonna go have some dinner. Alright then, thank you all very much for hanging out, and I'll see all of you next time. Take care, bye bye.